Hey friends! My name is Desiree, aka Mama Friendly, and I do all sorts of videos on my channel, from cooking videos to planner videos, vlogs, hauls, homeschool videos with a Disney twist, a little bit of everything. So if any of these things sound like fun to you, I hope that you'll subscribe and join me on my YouTube adventure. This video is a collab hosted by my friend Valerie at The Harget Life. The theme of this collab is Halloween treats and desserts, and have I got a treat for you. If you've been around my channel for a while, you might know by now that I eat gluten and dairy free exclusively. As such, I tend to gravitate towards paleo recipes because they're centered around unprocessed ingredients and they're also naturally gluten and dairy free. So I decided that I was going to try a paleo recipe for spider cookies. These are similar to peanut butter blossoms, but with a creepy crawly twist. They're gluten-free and dairy-free, but also nut-free because we're using sunflower seed butter, and egg-free, which means these make a great treat for kiddos with allergies. Now, I do want to remind you this is a collab, which means there's going to be a playlist. So check my description box for that link. Make sure you say hi to Valerie, but also check out what all of my friends made for their creepy crawly desserts. Send them some love from me, why don't ya? So with all that being said, let me show you how I made these paleo spider cookies. To begin, as always, our ingredients. For this recipe, you're going to need 3 tablespoons of palm shortening, or if you're not avoiding dairy, you can use grass-fed unsalted butter. You need a 1/4 cup of unsweetened sunflower seed butter, chilled. Mine was not, and it worked out fine, but just so you know. 3 tablespoons of raw honey, 1/3 cup of coconut sugar, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, a teaspoon of freshly squeezed lemon juice. I'm using bottled, it's fine. A 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of coconut flour, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 ounces of dark chocolate, at least 85% chopped up. I'm using this bar, which happens to be exactly 2 ounces. I'm gonna preheat my oven to 350 degrees and let's get cooking. So our very first step is to take our 3 tablespoons of palm shortening or grass-fed butter and our 1/4 cup of unsweetened sunflower seed butter. We're going to cream them together for about 30 seconds until it's light and creamy. If you have a stand mixer, this is a great time to break it out. I'm just using a large bowl and a handheld mixer. At this point, if you're using a stand mixer, you can just keep it running. I obviously had to stop because I'm not, and I only have 2 hands. But you're going to go ahead and add now your 3 tablespoons of honey, your 1/3 cup of coconut sugar, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and teaspoon of lemon juice. You want to mix everything together, make sure it's very well combined, and then we're going to move on to our next step. I did have to stop a couple times to scrape down the sides of the bowl, so if you feel that you have to do that too, please go ahead and do so. At this point, we want to add in our dry ingredients. So we're adding a 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of coconut flour and a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Beat everything together on high for 30 seconds until it's combined, and then this next step is crucial. Leave the dough to sit for at least 5 minutes. If you've never baked with coconut flour, it's extremely hygroscopic, I think that's the word. Point is that it needs to absorb a lot of moisture before you bake. Otherwise, your baked goods are going to turn out a dry, crumbly mess. So set it aside, let the coconut flour do its thing, and once those 5 minutes have passed, beat everything together again on high for 15 seconds. I've got a parchment paper lined cookie sheet here in front of me, and I'm using a tiny little cookie scoop, ice cream scoop, to take 12 balls of dough out. If you don't have a scoop, just roll them slightly smaller than golf balls between your palms. Place them on the sheet about a 1/2 inch apart and bake them for 12 minutes at 350 until they're lightly browned around the edges. When they come out of the oven and they're still warm, use your fingertip or your thumb, clean hands of course, to indent the tops. And you're gonna let these cool completely while we're doing the next step. As you can see, I've kind of fashioned a double boiler out of a little pan of water and a steel bowl on top. I'm breaking up that chocolate bar into chunks, and I'm going to allow the residual heat from the water to melt the chocolate without burning it. You want it completely melted, and once it has melted to a liquid consistency, we're gonna let it cool down slightly before putting it into a zip top bag. If you have a piping bag, even better. I'm testing the texture now. You see how it kind of sticks to the side of the bowl? That's how I determined it was cool enough to pipe. I probably could have and should have waited longer so that the spiders would have been easier to pipe, but I was really excited, so I just kind of jumped the gun and went for it. So as you can see, I'm filling up my little zip top bag. I'm going to cut the little corner off, and I'm going to make circles in those indents that we made when the cookies came out of the oven. The cookies are completely cooled at this point. And from here, you have a couple different techniques you could try to use to make the spider's legs. To make your spider's legs, you can do one of two things, and I actually tried them both. I grabbed a toothpick at first and just kind of tried to draw out the chocolate from the middle and string it out to make the 8 little legs. That did not work as well. It probably would have worked better if the chocolate was cooler and therefore firmer. Actually, both of these techniques probably would have worked better that way. So I then moved on to just taking the chocolate straight from the pastry bag and piping the legs on. They didn't look perfect, but they were super cute and so yummy. The whole family loved them, even the non-paleo eaters. And you can even use this recipe for Christmas if you're far more patient than I am and allow the chocolate to set up a little firmer before you pipe it. You can try piping little like Hershey's Kiss type things in the middle instead of the spiders and get those peanut butter blossoms that we talked about earlier. 10 out of 10 recommend. These were absolutely scrumptious. I will for certain be making these again. And if you decide to make them yourself, I would love for you to come back and let me know how they work out for you. Now that you've seen what I made, I hope that you'll check out that playlist and see what my friends made as well. And of course, I want to thank Valerie once again for hosting. Lastly, I want to thank you for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, I hope you'll please give it a big thumbs up. I'd also love it if you would subscribe and click that notification bell because I post at least 3 times a week and I wouldn't want you to miss a minute. Thanks so much again for watching. Bye!